my mind. God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. One quick announcement. There will be a choir practice following service, a short one. So, with that, February is our pledge campaign, a tradition that we've been doing for over 12 years now. Our goal this year is $100,000, and as you can see by the red slippers, we are now a little over $60,000. Yeah. If you have already pledged, we thank you. If you haven't, or if you wish to increase your pledge, please do so. Following service, we do have pledge cards over here, and then we will make sure your name is up here on the board. This year we're doing a series of 4 skits entitled Wicked Meets Oz. In the last 2 weeks, we followed Wicked as she met the Scarecrow and the Tin Man. Today, she will continue her journey as she meets another one of the Oz characters. I give you our narrator, Melinda Much.
I had a crazy dream, and when I awoke, I sat up and wondered, wow, how weird. Everything was upside down and twisted. In my dream were 2 characters from The Wizard of Oz, the Lion and the Wicked Witch. And my dream ended with the Munchkins singing, "Ding dong, Wicked ain't dead." Oh, dreams can be so crazy and yet so perfect. Here is what I remember.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, but most people have no idea what kind of life I've had.
I'm starting to realize that my perception of people can change once I get to know them. I met a scarecrow who wasn't scary and a tin man who had a heart of gold. So, Mr. Lion, what's your tale?
Well, I enjoy riding my Harley, but I wanted to settle down and find some new friends. I was afraid people would judge me before they really got to know me. So I tried a few churches and got what you'd expect. Not so warm a reception. I even cut my mane, and that didn't help. Then someone told me about trying the Center for Spiritual Living. The people there are pretty cool, so I decided to have the courage to try one more time.
So how'd that work out for you?
Well, I've been coming here for about 2.5 years, and I love it. In fact, I am now the treasurer on the board of trustees. I enjoy giving back to a place that has shown me so much love and appreciation.
Oh, now you're starting to sound like those other guys, Scarecrow and Tin, who give money to this place.
Well, everything today costs more. Groceries, rent, doctor bills, insurance, gas. So why should I give to a place like this? Because I have the courage to give. I ask myself, what would my life be like if I didn't have a place like this? Where I find a group of people who make me feel so loved. Like John, who greets me every Sunday. Susan and Amy, who prepare coffee and food for us. A group of awesome practitioners who pray for us. And then there's Donna, who helps enlighten us with her awesome messages, and Heather, who entertains us. So I pledge every year, I have the courage and the belief that what I give returns to me multiplied and running over. I am truly blessed.
I expected to meet a real lion, but you have the heart and courage of one. I'm starting to enjoy this place too. The people, the message. I get it. This is truly a special place. I've changed my thinking, and it's changed my life. Thanks to you, the crazy scarecrow, and Officer 10. I'm going to sign a pledge card and put my name on the yellow brick road. I, too, want to be a part of our success.
Yeah.
When I was more awake, I wondered, wow, what just happened? I changed my perception. They call it a paradigm shift, where I knew something for sure, and then new information comes in, and I realize I was wrong all along, and I am left with a new insight, a new way of thinking. Like I thought the Wicked Witch was mean and dangerous. I now know she's not wicked at all. She's beautiful, inside and out, and has been basically misunderstood. All she wanted was to belong. She just wanted to be loved and a part of this wonderful center, and now she is.
I think we know stand up here.
All right. Yeah, come on up.
Come on up, Dennis. Well, come on up.
Over up here.
Come on up.
Everybody.
Come on up. Where's the rest of us?
All right.
We're a bunch of ill today.
Yes, we do.
Run a bit of a skeleton crew today, yes?
We're here.
Come on up. Give a huge hand for our munchkins.
Give a photo of you.
I have to tell you, this choir is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Even in the face of adversity, they're up here and performing for you in costume. My goodness. All right. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing lessons we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I know, I believe that's true. I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. But the first time I met you, as you passed through these doors, like the first embrace I gave you, I knew there was more. I can say I've been changed for the
I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
For it should be that we will always remain friends in this lifetime. So let me say again, so much of me is made from what I've learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now, whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like the first time I met you, as you passed through these doors, like the first embrace I gave you, I knew there was more. I can say I've been changed for the better. I can say I've been changed for the better, because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
I tell you. And I'm not Jackie Peterson, but she's doing what we all should do when we don't feel well. She's not exposing us to the bug. So just remember that. But my name is really Susan today. I'm your trustee on duty. On behalf of Reverend Donna Maurer, the Board of Trustees, and our practitioner team, I'm privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are, and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're truly welcome here. Here, you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you were meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of our programs, you'll find our Declaration of Principles. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-timers? We've got a whole room full of old-timers. I would like to thank everyone who makes this Sunday service possible. And there are so many behind-the-scenes people. I hesitate to name names because I might forget someone. But you know, there are people that keep the grounds up. There are people that set the tables up for classes. There are people that give classes. So many things. And we thank you all because we would not be this wonderful place without all your service. So thank you. Now let's look at our announcements in our bulletin.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Hello, all you beautiful people. It's so wonderful to be back. And thank you for your prayers and your positive thoughts. They work. So, let's take a breath. And know that we are all beautiful creations of the divine. That we are here with loving spirits, with positive affirmations that we make for ourselves every day. We know that all is well. Here and now, the beautiful sounds of Sunday. So we know that our center is blessed as we are examples of the teachings that we receive and that we give. Like drops in the ocean, we are all truly one in love, in spirit, in care. So I release these blessed words as we say, and so it is. Just quickly, I'd like to remind you that when life gives you lemons, too many lemons, remember that our practitioners are here to offer sessions to make lemonade. So please remember that we are available always. So I light this candle now as it represents the light that shines out of each one of us. Out of each one of us, we are truly blessed as we give love and caring to each other. Thank you. I will go now and hold the high watch for each of you.
Well, since today's, the subject of today's topic is blooming and growing, and we're doing a song later on today that we haven't done in a while, but I think you'll really enjoy doing it if you don't remember it. It's called Bloom Where You're Planted. And so, of course, I had to contribute my portion of this, especially with all the wonderful storytelling that the Desert Players have been doing this month with the Pledge campaign. This is a song about sharing and storytelling and how it teaches us to blossom and grow.
Lessons of ancestors, mystics, and loved ones departed and dear. Modern day fairy tales are more than just talk. Shade us and guide the paths that we walk to grow, blossom and grow, blossom and grow, up to the sun, grow, blossom and grow, blossom and grow, up to the sun, grow, blossom and grow, blossom and grow, up to the sun. Blossom and grow, blossom and grow, up to the sun.
Thank you, Namaste.
Again, thank you, Don and Lynn, David, Heather, our Sonoran players and choir. We're having such fun with this. You know, I mean, I just love this every year. Last week, Don acknowledged Ruth as a catalyst for our pledge campaigns. And on our Coffee with the Rev this past Tuesday, Ruth was on it, and she felt that the pledge campaign was a legacy for which she is very proud. And she should be, because not only do we have a pledge campaign that's a lot of fun, but we've really created a safe space where we can come together in love and laughter and joy and silliness, and it all makes it so wonderful. It's such a safe space. So for those of you who are here for the first time, this isn't the way we normally behave, but it's the way that we share our love. We're watching Wicked's transformation as she begins to see values in the principles that we teach and what our center means to us. She, like Dorothy in the original story, is on her heroine's journey. And this is a bit different than the hero's journey. Jean Houston in The Wizard of Us says this idea of a heroine approaching the challenges of her journey in a different way from that of traditional male heroes is another reason why a closer examination of this particular story is so perfect for our present time and situation in history. New ways of thinking are being called forth. The old methods of conquer and destroy are ineffective and outdated. Aspects of the divine feminine energy are rising up and sliding into more of a partnership with divine male energy as our world moves towards a necessary, more ideal planetary balance. So Jean Houston is looking at this story, The Wizard of Oz, as more than the story of one young girl's transformation, and even more than a depiction of the hero's journey that serves as guideposts for our individual lives. She sees The Wizard of Oz as a primer for a new planetary culture. She says the days of isolation and domination are over. We are all connected. What happens in one place quickly affects us all. In these accelerated times, we are being called to expand our ways of being. We stand on the brink of a new way of being that is so much more than we previously imagined. So Jean believes that we are here to create the true Oz. And everyone in the Emerald City, if you remember, works together. They sing and they laugh the day away. There's no fear, no judgment, only loving acceptance, as the Ozians, without question, serve, clean, and polish the strange creatures that have appeared at their gate. You and I may see this as incredulous, and we need only read the headlines to be skeptics. Yet I think Jean Houston has a point. In fact, those of us in this room who are members, whether we know it or not, have really been given this assignment. Within the organizational design model of our own Centers for Spiritual Living, we find in Section 2, our global vision for Centers for Spiritual Living, this statement: we see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other, a world in which individually and collectively we are called to our higher state of consciousness and action. So you and I are the forerunners of this planetary shift in consciousness, and it's through our participation and our actions that we take from this new consciousness that we become the catalyst for a planetary change. As Wicked is learning from Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion, she is incorporating the attributes of wisdom, love, and courage that she will bring to the world. This is not just her journey, it's a journey for all of us. We must actively be the change we want to see in the world. In Japan, for an international conference on religion, American mythologist Joseph Campbell overheard another American delegate, a social philosopher from New York, say to a Shinto priest, "We've now been to a good many ceremonies and have seen quite a few of your shrines, but I don't get your ideology. I don't get your theology." The Japanese priest paused as though in deep thought, and then slowly shook his head. "I think we don't have an ideology," he said. "We don't have a theology. We dance." The master gave his student the assignment to go to the flowing stream for enlightenment. The student did as asked and sat for hours and then for days, waiting to no avail for his revelation. A monkey passed by. Taking one look at the stream, he immediately jumped in, and the student cried. How can we look forward to enlightenment? How can we be the change we want to see in the world unless we stop merely looking at the world, stop being an armchair critic, stop telling everyone else what they should do, stop looking for someone else to enlighten us, and jump into the stream? How can we tell people that we have a wonderful message and they should come to our center unless we dance, unless we are filled with a joy that keeps our heart singing, unless we are experiencing the messages we hear on Sundays and sharing it with each other and everyone who crosses our path? There is something within you and within me that resonates with our teachings. 50 years ago, I came to Founders Church on a Wednesday night, and I heard that message for the first time. And I knew immediately that it was something I wanted, but I couldn't have told you what it was. It went deeper than language, and whatever it was, it touched my heart and it made me tear up. And what I said in my heart was, I'm home. I'm home. And I knew it then, and I know it right now, right here. And I've heard that from you as well, coming for the first time. I feel like I'm home. Yet, even if we know in our hearts that there is something here for us, it's not until we put that smallest knowledge into practice that we can experience the joy, the wonder, and the miracles that are part of who we are. I recently quoted Dr. Ernest Holmes. He said, I would rather see a student of this science prove its principles than to have him repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. And I know this for a fact. I've had these cosmic plops where I thought I knew it and I was teaching it, and all of a sudden it came from here to here. So I know about this idea that it's easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. So our pledge campaign reminds us that through our participation, we can have the experience of seeing how the law multiplies our good, that what we give freely from our hearts does come back to us, multiplied, pressed down, and running over. This is a law of divine circulation, and we may trust it as much as we trust the law of gravity to keep us in our seats. It works whether we are pledging, tithing, or giving our financial resource to our center because we love it, believe in it, and want it to be successful, or whether we are giving our time and energy to our center or something that we truly care about. The law always returns back to us even more than what we give. This law works through our belief and through the unlimited potential of the subjective mind, where our belief takes on substance. From this interaction between conscious choice and the creative medium of the unseen, what we believe becomes the cause that appears as fact in our world of affairs. So are we practicing what we want to see? Are we doing the preparatory work to put unlimited good into our experience? Are we seeing ourselves, our experiences, our center as ideas in the mind of God? And can we see that everything about us and about our life is magnificent, is overflowing with love, joy, harmony, abundance? And do we truly realize that our thought is the originating point of our experience, and that what we think influences everything? The growth of our center is our responsibility, each and every one of us, not just the minister or the board. And it's a responsibility and privilege for each of us to stop affirming what we see as facts, which cannot change without a change in thought, and affirm the truth of who and what we are. This stuff works. It's an inside job. It works if we think we're poor, and it works if we think we're rich. It works if we think the economy is bad, and it works if we think the economy is good. It works if we think the world is a safe and wonderful place to be, and it works if we think the world is full of turmoil, meanness, and fear. The common denominator to all of these is the word think, because it is done to us as we think, as we believe, and thinking is an inside job. Quite a few years ago, I was talking to a minister from a beautiful area in the city of Fremont, California. He and his wife had bought he was born wealthy, I think, but he and his wife had bought a $2 million home in the hills, and they loved it. But after the kids were grown and, they decided that they wanted to downsize, So they put their home on the market, and people told them they were crazy to try to sell it in this economy. And the minister replied, I don't believe in a bad economy. I believe in a higher truth. Their home was not far from the headquarters of Facebook. And just as they put their home up for sale, Facebook went public. And a lot of employees working at Facebook became extremely wealthy overnight. A few weeks later, I talked to the minister again, and he told me that there were 4 buyers in a bidding war for his home, already far exceeding his original asking price. And that's the way this stuff works. The minister had no idea Facebook would go public 2 weeks after he put his house on the market. But the unseen potential from which the law draws substance to us is unlimited in its ability to create. If we put it out there, then that divine potential has the ability to create out of itself everything and anything. You know, you might be saying to yourself, yeah, well, he's been a minister for a long time, so of course his stuff works for him. Doesn't work for me. And the beauty about this teaching is that you don't have to be in it for years to see it working. It's working now. It's always been working. There never was a time when it was not working. But we have been using it in ways that have not been for our highest good, that have not been in our best interest. So don't say that the law doesn't work for you, because Ernest Holmes has an answer to that. And I know you've heard this, and I know this is one of Ruth's favorite statements. He says, if we believe that will not work, it really works by appearing not to work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does, only it does according to our belief that it will not. Isn't that wonderful? I just love that. So the law always says yes to our belief. It says yes to the thoughts that are uppermost in our mind. It will say yes to our no. It will say yes to our yes, because we are working with the undifferentiated substance of consciousness, which will take the form we give it. And it will do so without question or argument, just as the law of gravity and electricity will not argue with us if we choose to jump off of a tall building or stick our finger in a light socket. So doesn't it make sense to begin wherever we are, to see beyond facts and appearances to the truth, that the universe is loving, harmonious, beautiful, and abundant? And speaking of demonstrations, don't forget that we, you and me, in the midst of the worst economic downturn since the Depression, and that was a fact then, not truth, we bought this center. No one could have predicted that we would own this property. No one could have predicted that the sale price would be cut in half. But we had made a definite intention to say yes to Spirit, and everything unfolded according to our belief, and it still is. You and I are the vision holders for the world to come. What we put into thought, into our minds, what words we use, what concepts we embody, and how we respond in action to the challenges we face. All of these lay the foundation for future generations. We are called to a higher consciousness and action. I believe that. We don't sit by the side of the stream. We plunge into it with joy. We don't have a dogma. We don't have a doctrine. We dance. Thank you. Namaste.
Bloom, bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will find your way. Bloom, bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will have your day. with a beauty all of its own. Bloom, bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will find your way. Bloom, bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will have your day. Some plant the seeds that others will water, but in all things God gives the growth. Come, let us garden the flowers within us. Come, and discover some you've never known. Bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will find your way. Bloom, bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will have your day. Look at the love that lies deep within you. Let yourself be, let yourself be. Look at the gifts you have been given. Let them go free, let them go free. Bloom, bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will find your way. Bloom, bloom, bloom where you're planted. You will have your day.
It's time for our offering. Chance to put that law of circulation in process. How many of you are following the affirmation that on the blue sheet? We're supposed to be doing that at 4? Okay, yay. A few people are. There are copies of it. Yeah. Susan's showing you copies on the table. We're asking you to do it at 4 o'clock each day, but it can be done any time if you forget that it's 4, if 4 is a bad time for you. There is no time in spirit, so as long as we do it once a day, I think we can add our affirmation to what's already going on here with everything that we're doing, both with the skits and the pledge campaign. But also, I mean, we have a board of trustees who's put together an incredible budget, and we want to be sure that we can do everything that's on that budget. So that's, if we say that affirmation together, then we're doing that participation, that action thing that we've been talking about today. So please join me in our offering affirmation. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. 'Cause I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. 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 I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
sweetheart. And thank you so very much for your generosity that allows us to be who we are, that allowed us to have this beautiful space, and also to take it to the streets, as we do tithe 10% of our Sunday offerings to the community. So let's just take a moment to close this portion out in prayer, and please join us for refreshments afterwards. I know that there is one life, and it's the life of God. There's one mind, it's the mind of God. There is one love, it's the love of God. And this love animates everything that we say, think, or do. I know that we are willing to jump into the stream with joy. I know that we have created a safe place where we can truly be ourselves. And I know that this is all the product of God in action. I speak my word for anyone experiencing a challenge. I include my own son, Don O'Neill, this week, as he's facing a health challenge. And I speak my word for anyone who's experiencing any kind of a challenge throughout the world, to know that beyond all appearances, there is a place of love in action in all of it. So I simply give thanks and release these words into the law of mind to do its perfect work as we say together, and so it is. And may we stand and sing Stand.